Hello, starting a new video number 2. I just did the other one a few minutes ago and added it to my YouTube personal channel, and I think I'll talk this time about me for a little while. I've been through a lot of stuff and still here. And I'm getting younger every day in every way. I know you see some body fat on me. Well, it's going away. I'm working 6 workouts a day. I know I don't look that way, but I am. And it's melting away, and what's left is going to go. And I intend to have one chin tuck, and that's going to do me probably, because I won't need it again. See, I've learned how to eat. I'll talk about that some other time. Right now, I just want to give you an overall picture of me. The thing is, what you don't understand about me is I don't consider anything impossible. Look deep into my eyes and realize that. I know what can be done. There ain't no guesswork here. I know what can be done. I've seen the other side, the rest of the universe, and the ones that created it. I know what's going on, and not many people here do. But rather than try to convince you of that right now, what I want to do is fix things in such a manner. I hate to do that, but I had a pill in my mouth. Actually, it was a fish oil pill. I take 3 of those a day. Now, what do you need to know about me? What's going to give you the confidence to make it through the day? Well, I don't consider anything impossible. It's just a matter of going a little deeper and a little further until you figure it out for yourself. And you will do it if you keep it up. And I can maybe help you with that. But the thing is, there are a lot of people that don't have that kind of discipline. Well, a lot of us also, to be fair and honest, there's a lot of us that our day is just so filled up with everything. We barely got time to think. If you're in that situation, it's going to be a long, slow growth for you, because you got to split it up with everything else. I'm retired now, and that's a miracle in itself that I can even retire. But I don't have any deep secrets on that, as far as I haven't pulled the kind of strings that Donald Trump pulls and finagle myself to, well, you can see how he's finagled himself, and that there's nothing smart businessman about that. It's just finagling till you get yourself in a position that you don't care what you do to people, and that's what he's done. So for me, I've been too careful how I treat people for too long. And that, well, I'm not going to say it held me back. That's not quite the point. I'm going to say that I did make choices on that, and I decided to do the right thing whether I benefited or not. That was in jobs, that was in relations with other people, that was in practically everything that I've tried to do. Principle is everything. If it's not everything, then what are you standing for? What do you have? I started off with my transgender life to go out here and have some enjoyment and fun for a change. And the exact opposite started off happening. You've heard of the association song Wendy. That's what I copied my name off of, because I figured, oh, that's a nice song. It's about a little girl going down the street with a smile for everybody she meets. Everybody knows it's Wendy. Well, didn't quite turn out that way. And I was mad and bitter about that a little bit for a while, or a whole lot for a while. And just thinking about it, people seem to have enjoyed crushing my dreams or stepping in little ideas and plans that I wanted and had. My idea of how to run my life, everybody else thought they knew better. Everybody from friends and family. Employers tried to set me down and counsel me. Well, really? Yeah, employers. That's a lot of nerve, isn't it? So, we're just, I'm just letting you know here that how we treat each other out there goes a long way to saying what we are. And I can't even imagine working in a place like the White House. Oh, please. I've worked in some factories that were pretty bad. You know that for transgender, somebody like me, one of the best jobs that I had was and it was moving around a lot. I had several route sales jobs. I went first good one I had was Frito-Lay. I drove a route truck for them. They gave me some stops to get me started off of a route. I doubled the route in 6 months. Did so well with that, I thought I'd go sell cars. Oh boy, that backfired. I got right back into sales right away. Route sales right away. You'll starve selling cars if you don't know how to lie to people. I guess that said a lot for me, didn't it? Okay, so I go back into route sales. I worked for Tom's Peanuts. I worked for Safety Clean, the people that change the parts washer and fluids in the garages where they work on your cars. Yeah, I used to take them new barrels of solvent and replace that stuff. I had a uniform route at one time where a place called Carolina Uniform, which actually is now owned by another company, a big company, and going to change uniform. Change people, mechanics and people in factories that have uniforms. they have to have them picked up and cleaned each week, and that's what I did. I had a route truck that I run around in and pick that stuff up and give them their new ones back on hangers. So that was an honorable job. I didn't mind. Had to go in a lot of men's rooms. But they were usually out working in the factory. It wasn't something that was embarrassing for anybody. But there's just all kinds of things that I've done. I used to repair forklift batteries. You believe that? And we got a new salesman, and he I know how to handle forklift batteries and all this. Yeah, I've done this a lot. Sold brand new ones and all. And he gets in a brand new 1972 Chevrolet pickup truck that the boss had bought to transport these batteries back from shops to our shop to work on them and then take them back. And he fails to make sure that it's bolted down very tightly with so that it won't move. He got in a hurry one day and he took off with a pretty big forklift battery. Thing just peeled the whole side off of the pickup truck. You would have had to seen it to believe it. This forklift battery that was about 4 feet long by 4 feet wide. That's a big one. That's a huge one. He thought it was so heavy that it wouldn't slide. And he didn't take the proper time to secure it. He peeled the whole side of that truck bed off when he went around the corner. The centrifugal force of it just, it's out of here. These are people that have went to school, had good education, some of them, and I knew better sense than that. I wasn't going to do, and I never lost a battery when I transported them. But I'm just saying, and I know of another man that he was brilliant, but he made it ain't no common mistake, it's a stupid mistake, but he reached down and picked up his lawnmower while it was running. Like that. He lost some fingers on one hand because the blade, there ain't that much clearance underneath the cage, of a push mower. People do things without thinking, and I try not to. Matter of fact, I'll tell you some of my strengths and weaknesses. I can do real good in something like accounting or something where I can just lose myself in it and do it, and then finally we get a final outcrop of information and all. I can do that. I like it. But you put me in a production job, you're going to have to tell me to speed up, because I'm into quality. I want to do something good. I want to do it right. And then, let's say if I do speed it up, you're going to tell me my quality's bad. I don't like that. I didn't want to speed up in the first place. I wanted to do it right in the first place. You see, there's different kinds of people for different kinds of jobs. We're not all cut out to do the same thing. So you find out what your niche is. You got a niche somewhere out there if you'll just look out, kind of explore with it. Find out what you're good at and what you're not. And then try to go with that, or to get so good at it that nobody can complain, because they will. And then to complicate that, I went transgender right there. I'd been married, at least 6 years. My wife knew 6 years into our marriage that I had problems. But she stayed with me anyway to get the kids raised. Get one girl, I had a girl, get her raised. And that was honorable of her. I'm glad she did that for the daughter's sake. Now, when you don't come out until you're married, that ain't the way to do things. And you shouldn't get married just to cure yourself or to think that that's going to stop you from being transgender. You're putting somebody else's future in front of yours when you do something like that. I'm not saying I did everything right. I'm just telling you what I did. So you can, if you're in a similar situation, you figure it out for yourself. That wasn't real productive to do that to. And she was when I met her, she was studying to be a registered nurse. And then she was a registered nurse. And I wanted a registered nurse to raise my children. Very practical. Yeah. But I was also fighting being a transgender by being in service at the same time. Trying to hope and beyond reason, and it was beyond reason, that they could get me straightened out and be the kind of guy that I thought I was supposed to be. See, back in the 60s and 70s, here's the little step process. You go through, your elementary school, junior high, high school. Then you either go to college for a while or you get married and go into a trade. Things like, I got married and I went in service and then got married. And it is so automatic with our society that you don't hardly think about it. You just know those are the steps that you got to go through. That everybody does it. And if you don't, there's something wrong with you. Don't do that. Especially nowadays, now that you know better, don't do these things. You're asking for trouble. You hardly know which end is up. What's up and what's down. What's inside and what's out. You gotta explore your world a little bit before you go nuts and just give it all up. So some of them like me got married before they even were sure. I had no idea or no inkling that there's something else on the agenda for you, little buddy, and you ain't seen it yet. Well, you'll get a bunch of other people involved is what'll happen, and they won't like the results. And you're going to feel defeated and down, and why in the world did you do that? That's the way you'll wind up feeling, but you'll have to get over it eventually if you're going to move on with your life. I don't recommend suicide for anything because it's not the answer. Don't entertain that. Suicide is a clown, okay? It's kind of like Donald Trump. He's out there just carrying on and entertaining you. He's giving you these, you'll be out of here and everything will be cool and people will feel sorry the way they treated you and things. Don't do that. Don't fall for that suicide clown's jokes. Don't do that. He's trying to trip you up. Don't let it happen. And, I kind of went the other way. You gonna screw with me out here on my life and my income and all that and fire me because you don't like my sexual orientation? You just wait. I'll get you back for that. That was my attitude. Well, you can't get everybody back. It's just might as well face reality and know that we go through this life and we make the best we can. Now, transgender people, they've got the deck stacked against them, or they have had, and I'm hoping it's getting much better. But we are on the way toward a lot more than just straight people can even conceive of. Now, I'm not projecting this as a prediction, but it could happen. I know it's been discussed, and I know that they've talked about it in several sci-fi movies and things of that nature. A man could carry a baby, but why would he want to? Really? Why? I mean, the women are set up for it. Body-wise, chemistry-wise, they're for space travel reasons is what they're claiming. Well, I don't know. I'm not all-knowing. I don't claim to be all-knowing. But I know a lot of things. And I research a lot of things. And I know that there are there were experiments going on here many eons back about making different creatures. And I'll get into that in another time, but I don't want to get into that right now because I'm discussing me and how I got here and what the hell happened to me and things like that. That's what I want to kind of make clear. I spent my whole childhood playing Army, watching combat on TV and watching, well, I ignored the Westerns. I knew that there was no Western where I was. I was in a place called Gastonia, North Carolina, where I graduated in 1968, Hunter Huss High School. And I'm going to tell you that was a mill village back then, before the mills left. I mean, before they got sent overseas or wherever they went. And that place is not, well, back in the 60s, there was no way to be a Westerner, really, in a place like that. The way you proved you were a man, if that's what you wanted to do, which there was great pressure on young boys. They either had to go into sports, which I wasn't really equipped for. I didn't like sports because I didn't like the way the jocks talked to people. First of all, I didn't like that. They didn't have my attention at all. I didn't want to hang around them. And I was kind of a loner, but I had a few friends, and they were loners too. We were lucky we were even friends. But thing is, I ignored all John Wayne's Westerns. Okay? I ignored them. I didn't like them. The only one he ever had was True Grit that I liked. And I had that character, Mattie Ross, in it that was, she was kind of like a tomboy, and I liked that. But at the same time went on, and he come out with a Green Beret. That got me. There was no turning me loose. I had to go do it. And eventually I did. I went in the Air Force first, actually. Put 4 years in the Air Force. Started off in the medical end of it. Went to photo interpretation later, to an aerial photo interpretation section where we evaluated photos, categorized them, put them in manila envelopes with maps and instructions, prepared what we call target banks for jet pilots. Now, I did that in England. Well, first of all, when I went in, I was at a SAC Air Force base in Louisiana with the 2nd Bomb Wing of the B-52s that went back and forth to Guam. That's what they did. But and I was in a medical unit there. Anyway, thing is, I wasn't finding happiness there. No, and people kind of wondered about me. I was one of these that didn't fit in with them too well either. And I had these guys from Texas that were in my section that I couldn't get away from. And they would talk about doing weird things. I'm just going to say weird things with farm animals. They did. I wouldn't make that up on them. I mean, really, they aggravated me with sexual jokes and then would get into that kind of stuff. And I didn't appreciate it. You know, when I was 12 years old to about 14, I was confused about a lot of things. And I was trying to hide behind the Bible. If you cussed or smoked or drank, not only, if you think these Christians out here are bad now, oh God, you would not have wanted to meet me. God had to do a good cleaning job on me. If you cussed or smoked or chewed any tobacco or any of that stuff, you would not be around me. I would not speak to you. You could go to hell, because you're not going to get my time of day. Much less I'd sit with you on the bus. I'd stand up on the bus and not even sit with you. Now, you're talking about self-righteous. Oh my God, how do you deal with that? Oh man. Some of it was still in me in basic training, because my drill instructor, he got to asking questions and of everybody and all in the group, all sitting around, and he was trying to get to know who was this and who was that. And he said, "Does anybody here object to cussing?" Yeah, I do. I don't like cussing. Oh boy. That was the wrong thing to do. He said, "There is a chapel across the street from these barracks." He said, "You will be in chapel every Sunday morning that they have service." And that's all he said. And I did go. It wasn't like my church or nothing, but, you know, he made his point. But, gosh, you know, we can be so hard on each other. There was no need for me to act like that. That wasn't being nice to people. That wasn't acting like Jesus was supposed to act. And I don't know what to say about it, actually, except I'm embarrassed to have been that way. And people didn't hang around me much because they didn't know what to do around me. So anyway, that kind of cured that, didn't it? But I kind of grew up in the Air Force. I finally figured out that things aren't all about me. They're not about me. It's just life and the way it's working out, and you deal with it or you don't deal with it. It's not all these regulations all the time that are important. It's how you deal with things. when they happen. So if you get to know more about me, you might like my videos better. You might like my post on Twitter better. And Twitter's where I mainly dwell, if you want to meet me there. But we all have things that we have to go through, whether it's transgender or whether it's something else. We all have a little something that we have to go through, and we got to get the bugs out of. So I wish you the very best at doing that, and I will help you any way that I can. If I know what the problem is, or if you can get in touch with me some way and let me know what you feel, I'll be glad to talk to you about it, because I ain't put 68 years here for nothing. Yeah, I'm 68. A lot of people think I'm about 38 or 30. And I'll get into that on another video. We're not going to discuss that here. I've got a lot planned. Now, I think that if you want to know more about any particular subject, you can send me a tweet. That's the easiest way for me. Just tweet me. Tell me what you'd like to, or send me a messenger, a DM on Twitter. You don't have to tweet it to everybody to see it. You can send it DM. I don't keep my DM locked up. Y'all can use it. Now I do type in all caps because I can see a little better with it. And I have some followers that appreciate it too. They say they can read it better. And I don't permit insults. If you insult me, the block immediately. I don't even discuss it with you. I don't. I mean, you obviously didn't want to discuss it, or you wouldn't have insulted me. So I don't do that. I don't play that game. I just block them and go on. Now, there's a lot going on in this world. You may not deal with it the way I do. And I'll get into that on another one. I don't feel this has gone 33 minutes right now, and that's enough for right now. But just know that I have a lot more to teach. And I can make you somebody that nobody wants to mess with. That's enough for you to want to follow me. Now, that don't mean you go nuts on people. It just means that if they mess with you, you have a lot of options of what to do about it. So anyway, well, that's enough for now. Like I said, it's 33 minutes. So goodbye and good luck out there. Don't get hurt. Don't hurt nobody. Be sweet. It don't cost you a dime to be nice. And I'll talk to you shortly, I hope. I mean, we'll have another little discussion. Bye.